Hey guys, Doug Gaffney and my cousin Devin Johnson here. MMA fighter, and was doing his thing at one point, and we sat down actually here at a Starbucks just to kind of chat, and we ate, had lunch, and it's funny because I always say if you guys are ever having lunch with me, we go to P.F. Chang's or we go eat some type of Chinese food, and we get these guys a fortune cookies. I always say that these things always make sense, and I told Devin, did I not, that they make sense? And so let's see, what did yours read?
Mine particularly said, so you go with yours first.
All right, so mine says, age is a matter of feeling, not years. And it's so funny because if you guys are around me, it's like, yeah, I just turned 30, but sometimes I feel like I'm in, my 40s or 50s, and it's like funny because, everyone's like, oh man, you're so more mature than an average 30-year-old. And then this right here was just right on par.
Mine said, you will have fortune as you desire.
So as you desire.
As you desire.
So there you go. And we're sitting here talking about lifestyle, we're talking about life, we're talking about planning and positioning yourself. And let's just talk about that for a second. Like for you, how old are you now?
I'm 24 years old. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, right? Age is not, no, right? So 24 years old, it was only about two and a half years ago before the accident.
Yep.
And how'd that affect you?
Actually, 2 years ago, coming up May, actually. So, I just really, I've had a lot of time, obviously, to think about everything that has happened, and just to look back now and to see where I was then is just remarkable. And I'm kind of like a lot of people think of it as an inspiration. I consider it inspiring myself. I inspire myself, and I'm like, I'm going day by day, really, and just opening my eyes in the morning, and going to bed just like everybody else at night. And when you look back at it, I always look, what did you not have at the time? And I obviously, I didn't have a lot when it had happened. I didn't have anything to fall back on.
Yep.
Which is the motto of the company.
Right.
Falling back, having something to fall back on.
Having a plan.
And now I think 2 years after the injury, it's almost like being born again. I've learned a lot of things, and all the knowledge that I've accumulated throughout these years. Just going back to school, and having my cousin, one of the most business savvy guys.
Thank you.
Just coming, just having him on my team is something that really means a lot to me. And this is a big turnaround, and I'm playing it by ear, and we'll see how things go.
So at one point you were on top of the world.
Yes,
you were like 26 undefeated fights.
Yes.
And you're probably like, wow, you remember?
Yeah.
I took notice to a lot. He just didn't know, right? But and all of a sudden now, this is where you are.
Yes.
That must be hard to think about life. And then also you're talking about in such short term. I think a part of not planning is a part of being young too.
Yeah.
22 years old now, 24, still young.
Yeah.
I'm 30, still young.
Yeah.
But really what we're trying to say is at any given Sunday, stuff can change in your life outside of your control. And I think what you were saying earlier is had you not, if you didn't have a plan to fall back on, you weren't thinking about those type of things.
Not at all.
So
I'm just thinking the world's going to it'd be perfect for me, like everybody thinks it's going to have to be, but the world is not perfect. You can be driving down your road to your grandparents' house, and you could be hit by a semi truck, and your whole life will be changed just like that. Anything can happen. You just always got to be prepared for things like that. And I obviously wasn't, and I learned the hard way. And one thing I'm going to do is never let anybody find out the hard way that I found out. That's one thing I would like to inspire and help people pass my point, I guess.
Okay. So what kind of a message would you like? Because you're still that young. You're now going back to school.
Yeah.
You're around a lot of young people, and I know we were just talking about how a lot of times you talk to these young people and they don't understand a lot.
Yeah, and
they take a lot for granted.
Especially being 24 years old. I started going back to school at 22. So being 22 years old and going back to school, you're with a lot of young crowds, a lot of these guys are just going to school, you know, just because their mom and dad are telling them to go to school, you know, and they don't think about what they want to do with their future, what they want to maybe even embark in their lifetime, you know. So in a distance, I kind of like to give my life story to every single person I can possibly can, because not everybody's just going to be the big strong man that can go get a construction job, you know. You're not always going to have something that your physical attributes to always fall back on.
Right.
So sometimes it's always going to be what you know. Like in my situation, there's nothing I can do that I did before. I can't go get a construction job. I can't go work at a nightclub and be a bouncer like I used to do following my MMA career. And you know so what do I know? I don't know literally anything about any business. So being able to have to start at 22 years old and go back to school and basically just start my life over. I mean, it obviously is going to take a few years because I didn't start at 18, obviously, but I mean that doesn't mean anybody like you yourself you can't start, and just right today, maybe tomorrow, and just whether it's going online with some of the online informations that we have, educating yourself and knowing, you know, like you say a lot, like what a credit card is and things that'll help you maybe buy a house or maybe it'll help you in the future, you know, things like that, you know. I'm just not learning a lot of these things, you know, and it's I'm playing it, like I said, by ear, and you know, with the help of my cousin, you know, anything is possible. So,
well, definitely thank you for that. I mean, you know, indirectly and directly, we're inspiring each other. You know, it's like I always try to convey every single day to young people, old people, and in between. You know, we have to at least think about our vision, where we want to end up, what things that we value, what things are important to us, you know, and me being an entrepreneur and leadership and business coach, and also, you know, being within the real estate and investment industry, it's like there's so much opportunity out there. But a big part of life is being able to recognize certain things like opportunities, you know. And so the first step of being able to recognize it is first training yourself on how to recognize or what is the opportunity, you know. And also just training yourself to think differently, you know. Again, you had one perception in your mind of being this MMA fighter. Now things are different, and like you said, a key word earlier, it's like you're almost being reborn. And that's actually a big part of my first book that I'm going to be publishing this year. It's like rebirth a new you. You know, if a baby can be born in 9 months, and from 9 months to almost 12 months, I mean, they can transform from this little thing to this thing that's talking back at you, right? Like my son, boy, woo! The point is us as adults, no matter where we are, young, older, and in between. There's so many older people in their 60s, 70s going back to college right now, you know, and just learning new things, because time, the one consistent in life is change. And so we just have to adapt to it and be the driving force that manifests the change, or we get changed and controlled by the change. But the bottom line is, if in 9 months or 12 months, a baby can go from 0 to hero, we can change our lives. Just like in 2 years from being, you know, I mean, of course it's still tough.
Yeah.
You know, but look at where you are now.
Yeah.
And that can only give you hope and inspiration as to where you're going to go. I mean, there's so many opportunities and possibilities for you now.
Yeah. I mean, literally just laying in a bed and just doing nothing besides being able to look up at the ceiling because I have no neck movement or no movement from the chin down. I mean, to have that progressively, I've got a lot of feeling back, a lot of movement back, and I mean, just to see like the progression, I guess, just to see like almost like a flower blooming. I mean, it's just like the most beautiful thing, and you just want to keep going. I mean, it's almost like speechless. Like you don't know how to really explain it, but I just want to make sure from now on, I want to be the smartest man I can be possible. You know.
Yep. And just have options.
Options, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, have options.
Options, and have a plan.
Because
So
I only have so many options now, as you can see. So I mean, just to have all the precise options, and I don't know, it would help a lot. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, in 2 years from now, when we shoot another video, you know, we're just looking back and reflecting on this video.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing to see the growth and transformation.
Yeah.
But as I always say, where the focus is, the results will follow. And now you're placing your focus in not just one dimensional perspective, but in multiple dimensions. And you're creating a plan. You know, you're positioning yourself so that way you can have more options. You know, and then we're going to protect our assets and move forward in a more diligent, competent, in a more effective manner.
I like how you said that. You don't want to be so one-dimensional with your life. That's one thing that I always really regret, is being so one-dimensional. I was always, you know, be strong. You know, go to the gym, you know, be the big baddest guy I could be, you know, in the gym. And then when I walk out, who am I? You know, I don't know. My bank account still looks the same, you know. I mean, everything is now that I'm 22 years old and I can't do any of the jobs that I could do, it's like, it's all about based on what I know now. So like basically, I gotta accumulate all the knowledge that I had back in the past before my injury, going to school in high school, you know, now add it to the college knowledge that I'm actually accumulating day by day. I mean, I love going to school now. I mean, you can't tell me that I'm not gonna get a 6-figure job. I'm definitely going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's just about planning and knowing how important knowledge is.
Yep. Knowledge, wisdom, experience. Definitely, we're going to create all that.
When you get that, when you can finally realize how important knowledge is in this world, and I think that's what helps a lot.
You know, and the crazy part is like, you know, we have a Happy Button app. You can download it in the app world, the Happy Button. But the bottom line is knowledge. I mean, with today in this information age, with the internet, you can almost research anything.
Yeah.
Knowledge is free, you know. And you know what another thing is that's also free? Happiness. You know, just being happy is free as well. And I know it's been hard for you going through this change in your life, but you have something to live for.
Yes.
And now you have a moral obligation or a duty to inspire and share your story. That's leadership.
Yes.
So that being said, you know, thank you guys all for, you know, watching us. Again, this is Devin Johnson. My name is Doug Gaffney. And oh my God, there's Kamal Jewell, who we were just on, you know, another video with last week. This is amazing.
That? I just saw her video actually a few days ago. So how about that?
So impromptu, right? So thank you guys all for watching the video. Hopefully this touched you in a major and impactful way. Go out there and make life a lot better for you and others out there. Enrich the lives of other people. Lord bless, take care, and have a phenomenal day.
Life rolls on.
That's it.
Remember that always.
Is that the tattoo?
Yes, life rolls on.
Life rolls on. I'm going to have to get my first tattoo. Life rolls on.
Life rolls on.
All right, guys. Take care.